Being on the TAC team means standing next to the best of the best. Society often gives high accolades to those known for being the best of the best. Perhaps the riches and accolades that come with being the best of the best are well deserved. Athletes, musicians, and artists are dedicated to their craft. We know they spend thousands of hours perfecting their skill. We know that their success is often a game of inches, milliseconds, and attention to detail. Many successful people bask in the spotlight and enjoy the riches and fame that come their way. Today, I submit to you that the past and present members of the Oklahoma City Police Department's tactical team are the best of the best. However, the men and women who have served on the team for 50 years have not done it for recognition. Their dedication, professionalism, and expertise have been given to the community to keep the worst of the worst from harming others. The TAC team's success is also measured by inches, milliseconds, and attention to detail. The team has given blood and sweat while experiencing fatigue and weariness. The team has been dedicated to their craft, always striving to improve their understanding of marksmanship, ballistics, windage, rappelling, combat medical care, and tactics. The command staff has been dedicated to helping the team be the best of the best by researching tools and technology such as drones, improved armor, and less lethal devices to assist in de-escalation efforts. For 50 years, members have subjected themselves to being on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Team members do not talk about the words bravery and courage. However, they proudly tell you about the camaraderie and friendship that lasts a lifetime. Thank you for helping us celebrate the TAC team's motto for providing services to our community anywhere, anyway, anytime.
I came here in 1965, and in those days, there wasn't much in the way of tactics.
One day, due to what was going on in the world, someone said we might need to have something for those special calls.
It was during a time frame when they started talking about something called SWAT. And so the powers that be thought it might be something to try to get control of crime scenes, of hostage or barricade situations.
And it was decided that 6 guys on each shift would be it. And I was one of those. That was late '73, I think.
When I started on this police department, the tactical units were basically built out of divisions. So I felt kind of excited, and because it was one of those things where any really good officer wanted to be a part of, because it was elite. It was more elite back then because it was just so small.
In the beginning, you know, we were so used to, all right, 2 or 3 officers go in there.
The TAC team back then really consisted of a shotgun assault, and you had your revolver on your side.
And we'd show up. We carried all the stuff in the trunk. Many times we'd just strip down, put on our gear, standing in the street.
Some more time goes by and all of a sudden I'm a captain. So then we really crank up training. I mean, we did it all.
There were several of us that had come out of Vietnam, so we had those type of tactics. One day they go, okay, we got to get into the 21st century. We're all sent to the first National FBI SWAT school in Quantico.
All that happened over a period of years. It doesn't happen overnight. But I feel like we got to a point where they were as good as anybody in the country.
Eventually, it was decided we need a permanent TAC team. So the word was put out. And if I remember right, there were 18 picked.
Physically, it was a mess. I mean, guys were throwing up and falling out, and it was a tough tryout.
It became a source of pride because those guys knew what they had to go through.
And we trained every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday every month. And Bobby Tidwell, I remember he treated it like it was some terrorist cell from, you know, some foreign country that had established itself and has hostages. We train for that every month.
We had to look at the geographical area of Oklahoma City. So we spent a lot of time in the woods.
We would go out to one area that was a kind of a swamp, and we would go out there and all day wade around in the water and hunt him all day. But sometimes, you know, he would have us strip our gear and run us, you know, to Lake Draper. He wanted so much perfection out of us and how we did stuff, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
There was a TV show on called SWAT, and I watched that weekly, and that's what I wanted to do ever since. My reason for joining the department was to get on to the tactical unit. So in 1991, first opportunity came up. I tried out.
Back then, you actually got put on the team first, then you went to school. They could do things to you a little bit more. Back then, physically and work you half to death just because you're on the team, you can't leave.
It's one of those things that you're a part of it because you feel like you earned it. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into getting on the team, going through the school, and of course you start out at the bottom of the team and you've got to kind of earn some respect along the way.
We were really dependent solely on our tactical ability. You know, you have to be dogmatic. The same thing over and over and over again.
Tactics is what you did, and we didn't have a Bearcat. The first 6 guys that showed up got a vest.
When you got on the team back then, you were issued a vest and a pretty crappy rifle, and that was pretty much it. Everything else you purchased yourself.
And I was lucky to be old enough to do it, you know, almost like being in the Western days.
It's so cold, your clothes freeze to the ground because you've laid there on the wet ground for too long, or it's so hot that, you know, we have somebody passing out or something like that. Those are the ones that kind of come, you know, make you realize that you accomplished something, that you really had to put everything you had into it.
When I first got on, it was kind of a team that was kind of a necessary evil, as you would. Today, it's totally different.
It was a veteran team. Those guys were seen as the best of the best. As I was starting to develop through my career, I was getting a little more confidence, and I was like, you know, I think I could probably do that.
I spent about 7-8 months getting ready for it. You know, I was in my 40s at that time, and tough school in the 40s. It's a young man's game. But tried out and got on as a supervisor.
Keeping up our traditions, the way we do things is, it's important to pass that along to the newer guys. That's the thing that's, I think, most unique about our team. That has never changed.
It becomes a lot like family. It becomes a part of you, of who you are. And I think over time it makes you a better person.
It's top notch. I mean, the faith that you have in each other on an operation, I don't think anywhere else in a department you're going to find that.
Everything the team did back then in the 90s was a big secret. Our tactics weren't talked about. The team was almost looked at by a lot of officers almost like a cult.
Lieutenant Webster went to the training center, and he really opened the door on getting us into training.
So we started programs where TAC team members would come in every year and train field officers, but to do it more safely.
That's really changed the culture of the way the team was perceived throughout the department.
We went years, and a commander came up to me and says, "Why don't you have any females on the team?"
He said, "Kim, would you be interested in being an assistant commander of the TAC team?" I was concerned about how the guys would feel, you know, about me being there. You know, I was the only female. They'd never had a female on the TAC team before. I just, you know, was my normal laid-back self and melted right in. Captain Littlejohn, first female on the team.
So when I was brand new and having trained with them, I was just intrigued, and I thought, you know, I want to do that one day. It was intimidating at first. I'm going to have to really prove myself because I wanted to go through everything that everyone else had to go through to get on the team.
The biggest change I wish I'd have been around to see was the females. I would run Blake asking him questions about Are they really doing this? Are they really doing that? And he's going, boss, I'm telling you, they're kicking ass.
A lot of people kind of don't see or don't understand is the sacrifice. So you miss out on a lot of events with your family, so it takes a lot of sacrifice.
Or you do a call out and you're tired and all of a sudden the bell rings again and you're getting ready to go and everybody just, you just suck it up and you go do it.
One of the biggest call outs, I guess, Christmas Eve, you just have to kind of tell your family I've got to go, and you go.
My first day of training, that was right when I came back from maternity leave from after having my daughter. That pager goes off and you have to be ready to respond.
I'd taken my wife to the hospital that morning. The call out came, left my wife, she had no idea. So literally left her on the operating room table. I'm super fortunate my wife is super cool about all that type of stuff. So.
The technology is definitely changing. We're never opposed to trying new things.
As an old guy, I fought it a lot. Finally one day my light bulb come on after 20-something years going, hey, this technology's not bad.
We purchased our first Bearcat in 2010, armored vehicle, which was probably one of the most significant pieces of equipment that we actually purchased.
So we actually got that Bearcat, I believe, while I was a negotiator. And that was a big deal.
No longer do we go in against an armed barricade because there's no reason to go in there.
I think there's a common misconception among the public. They think when the tactical unit comes out, they're there to bust in doors and kill people. And it's just the opposite.
A very, very powerful team to de-escalate because they don't take any chances.
Suffering through heat, through elements, and I'll look to the guy to my left or my right, and we both look at each other, nod our heads like we're out here in it. Nobody else can do this but us. Our whole goal is to get the suspect into custody safely as possible.
Anytime it works out and you don't have to hurt anyone, you walk away with a sense of pride, realizing that you did something that a lot of people won't do.
We learn, we adapt, and enjoy the ride.
The second hardest thing to do is get on the team. The hardest is turning your stuff in when you get off.
I've been fortunate to get to see the team from a lot of different places. It's on another level. It's like, it's family.
The TAC team is made up of individuals who, if you're somebody on the department, you have had your hand on the TAC team and been a part of it in one way or another.
And as long as you show up to work and to put forth your best effort, then we'll take you. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and it was worth it.
It truly is a tight-knit family of guys that are willing to risk a lot to protect each other, to protect their community.
I'm always very proud of that team, and they work really hard, they train really hard, and they are true brothers.
Yeah, it's a tight brotherhood. It's something that I hold highly, that I had the honor of being the TAC team commander. It'll always be a part of my heart.
You look back, when I first became involved with the team, there was a lot of team members that had a lot of experience. You start getting in this mindset that, man, it'll never be this good. That's what's amazing to me is they still hold to those same standards.
People you work around are the absolute, probably most loyal on this department. The camaraderie of the team is just unbelievable.
That was the proudest thing I ever did. And I was on the TAC team to my last day. I came in there and the chief goes, what have you been doing? I said, I qualified today. You qualified on your last day? Yeah. I still got I got 8 hours left, so.
When we go out, everyone knows what everyone's going to do. And so we all operate as a team, but we're good. We're really good at what we do. And
that's one thing I was always kind of proud of, is that I was able to do that. You kind of wanted to be on the tactical unit, and the benefit for me, and one reason, is I became a better officer. I became a safer officer.
They want to be part of the team. That commitment, it's called the brotherhood.
It's really a progressive department, always has been. They're good. They're good. They're proud to have been part of that.